This is how I managed to finally get my Blender scenes to go viral, get millions of views, like literally. One of my videos got 65 million views on TikTok, and I also got millions of views on Facebook, hundreds of thousands of views on Instagram, and all I had to do is one simple thing. If you are like me, who spends a lot of time and work to get better with your Blender or any CG scenes, it can get very frustrating once you notice those don't get any views, like 100 views here, maybe 500 views there, but nothing really. Of course, we create art because we want it to be watched. So it can be very satisfying to actually get a lot of views on those videos, but it also can be very frustrating because there's a lot of haters and negative criticism, and it can get to you too. So just be mindful, once you do get viral, be aware that there's going to be a lot of hate coming towards you too. Maybe it's just me, who knows. Anyways, I'm gonna share my trick, how I manage. It's really a hack, it's not really a trick, it's just a hack how I managed to get lots of views on my Blender scenes, because before I was getting no views basically, and that works across all platforms. And in the end of this video, I'm also going to share general tips for you. I do share lots of tips and tricks with other CG artists, so now you're going to get it all in one video. First of all, how did I manage to go viral? What I realized is that the final scene you render doesn't attract that much attention unless it's the best CG scene ever made, which I can't say about my scenes because they're pretty much meh. But then I discovered something. What I started to do is posting my final scene on top and the before scene on the bottom in the vertical format, and those suddenly shot through the roof and I got millions of views. Like this, for example, got 4.3 million views on TikTok, but I also got millions of views on Facebook and Instagram with the same post. But when I only posted the original video, I only got a few thousand views. Only a few thousand views are great, but the before after really went through the roof. And I have countless examples of that. And this scene got 6.5 million views on TikTok. And here you can see a great comparison. The final Blender scene got only 1,800 views, but the before and after got 40 times as much. And I have countless examples like this. Here, only 2,000 views on the actual scene and 280,000 on the before after. And again, 1,800 on the original, 23,000 on the before after. You catch the drift. So all I had to do is, especially with my green screen scenes, showing the green screen on the bottom and the final result on top, you can mark it with before and after. I sometimes not do that because, especially when you post a lot and you want to repost things, sometimes I just flip the image, I mirror it so I can post it again so I can get the same views again. It's another little trick of mine. And if you are afraid of overposting, getting on the nerves of your followers, I wouldn't worry about it too much, because yes, your followers you already have are gonna see the same post over and over again, but you have to keep in mind you're getting new followers every single day. And if you're like me, that your social media went through the roof, you're getting thousands of followers a day. Right now, for example, I'm getting 100 new followers every single hour if I'm awake or asleep, and those followers haven't seen all of my videos, so I just repost them so I don't feel that bad about that. And sometimes I see in the comments, oh, I've seen this before, but that's okay. That just tells me that the algorithm keeps favoring my content, which is a good thing. Now, your Blender scene might not be suitable for a before after like that. Maybe you're not using green screen like I do. In that case, you can also post your viewport on the bottom and your final render on top. And I get that question a lot, why do you post your before on the bottom? Shouldn't it be on top? Yes, technically it should. The way reels look on like different social media platforms, there's always a lot of text and things, the hashtags you were using on the bottom half of your video, and I don't want to cover up the final video. If anything, I want to cover up the before picture because it's not that important. So that's why I have the afters on top and the befores on the bottom. And sometimes I post even 3 ways, have the final in the center and the befores on top and bottom, like the green screen on the bottom and the viewport on top, for example. I also tried to have the final on top. I experimented back and forth, but I came to the conclusion that it's best to have the final render in the center, the viewport on top and the green screen on the bottom, or switch those two, who knows. And again, there is not one example on any of my social medias where the actual just final render as itself made more views than the before after. The before after always did better. In that way, I could really go back to my older renders and just recycle them and make a before after out of them, if you still have the Blender files, of course. There is only one example all over my social media where the final render made more views than the before after, which is this one. A moon crash video went viral. I just posted it on TikTok and suddenly I saw it on Facebook, on X. Everyone reposted that one because I guess it looks pretty real. And I just stole this idea. I saw very poorly made videos like that on Facebook and I was like, I can do better. So I tried. So it went viral, like almost 70 million views on TikTok, which is insane. The most viewed video I've ever made in my life. That's quite the accomplishment. So this is how I started to go viral on my pages. And again, it's not just a one-off. Like when you get more followers, those followers are going to watch your other videos, your entire page is going to grow. And this one moon video got me like 20,000 new followers on TikTok. And the other examples I showed you in this video got me 178,000 followers on Facebook. And I started making money with that too. So it's not just like for fame or recognition. I actually pay my bills with that. So that's just my advice. If your content allows that, especially if you only do like full CG scenes and you don't have any before, again, just do viewport renders, because for people, it is very interesting to see what the final render looks like. It's like photoreal. It looks like it could be a real video, but it's actually CG. That's really insane to see. So that's just something I would recommend for you doing. And even on YouTube, like long form content, my most viewed videos, which is not a lot, but my most viewed videos in the thumbnail, there was always like a before and after comparison. That's how I started making my thumbnails, because it seems to be working better, especially my green screen Blender tutorials. You're probably watching this video because you've seen one of those. Started getting me a lot of attention, and I jumped from 2,000 subscribers to almost 11,000 subscribers in a very short amount of time. So that's how I did it. Now I wanted to share some extra tips and tricks on the technical side for you, which might help you. I don't know if those actual help, but it's just something I heard from other influencers and 3D artists. What they always recommend is export your final render in 30 frames per second, or preferably actually render it out in 30 frames per second out of Blender, because all those social media platforms convert it into 30 frames, so you might get better chances to go viral with it. I don't know. Another one that's actually more of an obvious one: upload your reels vertically. I hate to do that because I'm a filmmaker. I'm not a social media influencer. I'm a filmmaker, so I don't create vertical content. So I tried to cheat it the way I did it here. I have the actual video in the center and just a blurred background on the top and bottom to make it vertical. I just started doing that recently, so I don't know if that actually works. Preferably you render your scenes out that they work vertically, but then you also have to build your scenes that they work vertically. And most CG artists I see, they do that. Again, I hate to do that because my main focus is like long form content that I can put those on the big screen. But I don't do it yet, but I might consider doing that or starting doing that for some scenes, definitely not for everyone. But that's just something I would recommend for you if your content allows it. Also, I just recently heard exporting your renders in full HD instead of 4K seems to work better, because again, all those social media platforms compress it anyways to full HD. So if they have more work to, upload your content, then they might not let you go viral with it. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just something I've heard. So that might be something you want to try. So if you want to see how I create my green screen before afters, I recommend clicking this video next, because that's gonna get you from the beginning to the end how to make a scene like that, and maybe you can go viral with that too. I truly hope so. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you in the next video. Toodaloo.